Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, good day, no matter what time zone you are in. You are on Bill the Drone Reviewer, and I'm welcoming my esteemed colleagues, Mr. Bill Thomas, Mr. Ron Braun, and Mr. Marcus Crawford. We are going to go over the great announcement from DJI this morning about the Action Cam. Very first thing I want to do, we're only going to do this for a half hour because I'm on my lunch break here, but we're going to go over the specs briefly, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk to Bill, to Ron, and to Marcus, and of course myself, and get our thoughts and opinions, and go from there. So let's go ahead and we're going to share the specs here. Now these specs are from DJI here, okay, directly from DJI. So let me, without further ado, okay, there we are. Have the general, the camera itself. You know, a lot of these things kind of stand out in what you can see from this. Basically, you're basically seeing a lot of specs that you would find on like the GoPro 7. There's really not a lot that will stand out here. But when you do a deep dive, there are some things that do stand out that will make this probably worthy of your consideration as far as an action camera is concerned. Again, and I have a link in the description so you guys can check these out in detail later on. One of the things that I did like that I saw already was the front screen on the camera. That is something that's different. So without any further ado, we're going to send it to Mr. Bill Thomas and get his thoughts, opinions, and recommendations on it.
Well, thank you very much, Bill, the drone reviewer. Actually, we were talking just before we came on, and I was thinking it's a little bit better everywhere, and it's $50 cheaper. So, you know, a lot of, like we were talking about the other night on ZinoNation. If you didn't own it, you're gonna buy DJI, but you know, something I probably will let Marcus evade to here in a minute, because I think he was bringing it up earlier, is maybe something to do with the price. So, but in my personal opinion, it's just a little bit better. So people looking for an action cam are going to want Osmo Action. And with that, I'll pass it back to you, Bill.
All right. Well, there's Bill's thoughts on that. And, you know, one of the things, you know, I did not have a chance to watch a lot of reviews out there. I did watch Rick Smith's, and I thought he did a very good job with that, especially his demo of the camera as well. So let's go ahead and turn it over to my other esteemed colleague, Mr. Ron Braun. Ron, what are your thoughts?
Bill, thank you, Bill. You know, my thoughts, you know, I was impressed with it. And like, I agree with Bill Thomas. It's better. It's a little bit better than, you know, the Hero 7 Black in probably almost every way. And if I didn't own an action camera at all today, and I walked into Best Buy or I went to, you know, Amazon store, I'd probably get the Osmo Action. But as a Hero 7 owner, I don't know if it's enough there for me to put my Hero 7 on eBay and shell out another $350 for it. That's the question. Now, Rick Smith, we kind of think we all watched Rick Smith's video. Rick Smith, friend of the channel. He's been on our shows before. Very, you know, knowledgeable and thorough review. I think the big things he pointed out was it has that front-facing screen, you know, which is a very nice feature and upgrade, especially people that are doing selfie-style videos. And it has a faster bit rate. The Hero 7 has like, and I'm not exact, like the 70 bit rate or whatever, and this the Action has 100 bit rate. So that's a, you know, an incremental improvement. I'm not sure a casual user would ever look at a video and say, you know, I think that video only looks like it's a 70 bit rate. I think that's, you know, one of the things that people don't really see on the screen. And here's, I think, a place where DJI missed, though, that the knockoff GoPro cameras have. They have the quarter-inch screw on the bottom that you can mount to your tripods and stuff without using a contraption like this case. But DJI chose to go down the same rat hole that GoPro did and force you to buy all these mounting accessories rather than just screw it on the your tripod, like, say, a million knockoffs, the Firefly, the Xiaomi Yi cameras all have that in there. So that was I think a miss on DJI's part, not to put the quarter-inch screw in the bottom. And I asked Rick Smith, he didn't say this in review, but another big negative on the Hero 7 is you cannot plug a Rode video mic into here without buying a $49.99 adapter. I got that price from John Coopy. And once you do that, you waterproof it. And Rick Smith he never mentioned. I asked him a question on his review whether you needed an external adapter to hook up a Rode video mic to the Action. So we're waiting for the answer to that question. Maybe one of you guys note and fill that in. So on that note, do you want me to pass this to Marcus or throw it back to you, Bill?
Throw it back to me for just a second here, Ron. Floyd Motes, and this is kind of funny. He said, DJI will give you $120 on your GoPro Hero 7 Black and a trade-up deal. So I just thought I'd throw that out there too. I want to welcome some people in the chat here real quick. Joe's Drone Life, Mike Roach, Steve Carpenter, Thomas Sullivan, Art Robro, Floyd Motes is in the house, FSU Grad 03 is in the house, and that looks like it's it. So go, Marcus, take it away.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start off by saying, echoing what everybody else has said, make sure that you watch Rick at Drone Valley's review. It's really good, and he really nails it. And I agree with the fact I've already got a Hero 7. I did not see any reason to upgrade, having already owned the Hero 7. Now, that said, I also have the Osmo Pocket. I love the Pocket, but what I find is that I often reach for the Hero 7 because it's so easy to use and it's rugged and I don't have to worry about it. So this thing, I've already bought it. I paid $350 for it. I probably bought another $150 in accessories for it. Had I known that DJI was coming out with the Osmo Sport, I'd be honest with you, the kind of things I do with a camera, I probably wouldn't have bought this. I probably would have bought that Sport. So I'm a little bummed out about that. And like everybody else has said, it really is incremental improvements to what GoPro already has. So if you already have a GoPro Hero 7, you're probably not going to upgrade. If you don't, I think the DJI Osmo Sport is the choice in action cameras now. The other thing that I want to add to it, and Bill Thomas alluded to it, is the price. If they had priced the Osmo Sport just a little bit cheaper, $249 or maybe even $299, boy, I'll tell you, guys like me that already have the Hero 7 might have been tempted to move up to it. But yeah, as it is, probably not. But it's still a phenomenal product, and I congratulate DJI on creating another really phenomenal piece of technology. Back to you, Bill.
Okay, Marcus, thank you. You know, and one of the things that I thought was real interesting here, you know, everybody's trying to compare the Hero 7 with this, which is right. But I want to get, I know Bill has the Osmo Pocket, and of course, you just saw Marcus has it too. I want to get your thoughts in terms of comparison. Obviously, not the waterproofing. We know that that's not going to happen. But as far as the quality, the camera, because I know what Rick Smith said, I'm interested to find out what Bill has to say on it and what Marcus has to say on this.
Oh no, you go ahead, and Marcus, you
Okay,
take it
Marcus.
off.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So one of the other reasons that I pick up the GoPro is the field of view. So you have a narrower field of view with the Pocket, and also there can be focus issues with the Pocket too, where you have the infinite focus on the Hero 7. So I think this is probably the superior camera. I mean, just for if you're a real photographer, which I am not, no question, the Pocket is superior. If you're just somebody that's trying to get some good vlogger footage or making sure that what you get is in focus and in view, that's why I use this. And like I said, if I wish if I could go back in time, I would have waited on both of these and grabbed that Osmo Sport.
Osmo Action. But yeah, I personally, I think I've always thought that Osmo Pocket was basically a mini film studio, and they're going to open up more through the Mimo app and stuff as we go along, since we now have the Osmo Action and they can take in that direction. So don't be surprised if you see a lot more, because DJI was, like I was saying the other night, DJI never opens up the product wide open to begin with. They always do it incrementally, you know, along the way, and that's how it works out. I'm going to post a link to another great creator. He is more of a filmmaker, but DJI sent Peter McKinnon an Osmo Action, and he puts it side by side in a heads-up test from a filmmaker point of view, the Hero 7 against the Osmo Action. And you can see that the color profile on the Osmo Action is a little washed out, but you can upgrade that in post. It's a little warmer in the Hero 7, but hands down, rock steady pretty much kicks GoPro's butt, because GoPro stabilizes the object, the main point of view in the frame, whereas Osmo Action will stabilize the object, the main point of view, and the exterior, everything going on. And you can you'll see that in this video. He's like jogging down the street. He's got a mount with both of them on it. And in the GoPro 7, you can see he's stable, but the background's kind of bouncing around and blurry. But in the Action, man, everything's crisp and clear and just perfect. Smooth. It's almost like a small crane camera or something. It's awesome.
Bill, thanks for putting that link in there. And I think that's a great video for everybody to watch, because I know that's one of the things I know we amongst ourselves had talked about, you know, the image stabilization. I know Ron has just absolutely raved about it in terms of its ability to make things just like very smooth. So make sure you watch that video link that Bill put in there. Now, here's another interesting point, and Steve Carpenter just had put this in there. The original price on this was supposed to be $299, and it was, as you know, is $345, and that's due, unfortunately, to the tariff trade deal that's going on with China right now. So, so unfortunately, you know, we had to pay a little more for it. But my next question for all of you, okay, and let's suppose you didn't have an action cam and you were looking to buy one, and we'll start with Bill, go to Ron, and then Marcus. Would you buy a DJI Osmo Action?
Well, yeah, of course, because I'm partially biased because I know they make top quality products. Now, sometimes I gripe about the select part of their service, but other than that, their product is always top notch. And back to the time when they were working with GoPro, and then GoPro changed their harness setup around, and DJI had to go ahead and start making their own cameras. I almost think that there's been some kind of, you know, give and take there between the two of them. And then when the Karma came out and failed, so it might be DJI just saying once and for all, be like, all right, we gave you a chance. That's my point of view.
Ron, what's your thoughts?
If I, you know, I would say this again. You know, if I didn't own an action camera today, and I was in the market, I would probably get the, you know, the DJI Action. But again, you know, I want to wait, you know, a month to see the reviews, or there, you know, more than one professional videography comparing the, you know, the video quality. We don't know about the battery life yet. There's a lot of kind of unknowns. I mean, we know specs, but we don't know real world testing. And
actually, if you watch that Peter McKinnon video, you do, because he gives you the breakdown of all that.
Yeah, but I want to see it from. I want to see the same thing said over and over again. You know,
he was saying that you could push it 4K at 60 and get 63 minutes of full battery use.
That's impressive.
For over an hour at 4K 60, so maxed out settings, you know, an hour.
But back to Bill the Drone Reviewer. So, but I'm right now, there's not enough there for me to, you know, put the Hero 7 on eBay and take a big hit and upgrade this camera. But talk about all these specs. Let's reconvene the same panel in about 5 months when the Hero 8 comes out and see how the DJI Action stacks up then. What's, you know, again, because these little improvements are easy fixes. For a GoPro to add a camera in the front, easy fix. 100 bit rate, that's an easy fix too, because the new processors probably have it. Everything DJI added is an easy comp for the Hero 8. So again, let's reconvene in 5 months and talk about, you know, which ones are better than, because remember, we're comparing a camera that's in a cycle life is you know, at least 6 months newer than an older camera. So that's interesting. But I'll throw it to Marcus. What's your opinion on which one you would buy?
Yeah, so obviously, if I did not already have the Hero 7, yeah, of course, the Osmo Action would for sure be the choice. Uh, the, uh, uh, the Pocket, like I said before, had I known that the Osmo Action was coming out, I probably wouldn't have bought the Pocket. Not that it's not a great piece of technology; it's just that the Osmo Action would fit more towards what I do with a camera. So yeah, all great points, and I completely agree with all of them. The other point that I want to make is that, you know, in the drone community, when we mess around with all these other drones, everybody knows I buy a lot of other drones, and there's always issues, there's always problems. But you know, when you buy a DJI product, it just works, and it works as advertised. So it's a dependable brand, and that's a huge deal. And so then that makes the short answer, yes, of course I would have bought the DJI the Osmo Action.
That's, you know, and I have to tell everybody, I went ahead and did that now because I don't have an action cam, and I thought this was an absolutely ideal opportunity. You know, some of the things that sold it, even though the price was $349, I was expecting a $399 price, so that was a pleasant surprise for me. I really liked, you know, and also watching Rick's video, you know, having that front camera on, or front screen on the camera was, I think, a real winner. And I know, you know, Rick likes to call himself a nerd, and, you know, all of us in one way or another are nerds because, you know, we love this technology. But, you know, that bit refresh rate, that really is a big deal. And you'll see that in the finished product when you're looking at your video. And, you know, that's one of the things that I think is key here, is to be able, you know, after it, you know, when we reconvene to talk about the Hero 8, you know, let's take a look at the Osmo Action, and let's take a look and see how it's fared up, and how it's come about. Now, Ron brought up a good point. You know, when GoPro comes out with their Hero 8, it's going, you know, they'll be able to address a lot of these things. And, you know, one of the questions that I have for the panel, and I don't know the answer to it myself. I know Oz by Drone, who's here, welcome, and thanks for joining this afternoon. You know, being able to do such things as Facebook live stream or YouTube live streaming, I hadn't seen anything about that because I know it's hooked up through the Mimo app. Have any of you heard anything about that, guys?
No, I haven't, Bill, but Marcus and I talked about that in our show this morning. And, you know, the Hero 7 has that capability, but I certainly wouldn't call it the strength of the Hero 7. I fooled around with it with limited success. So if DJI could make this really work well if it even has it, if they can make it work well, that would be a good step up. Because like I said, in my limited play with the Hero 7 streaming capabilities on YouTube and Facebook, they're iffy at best. But Marcus and I are going to attempt to do a live YouTube stream only using our Hero 7s to test it to its full capabilities. But to answer your question, I haven't heard anybody say that the Action has this capability.
Okay, I'm seeing in the chat, Joe's Drone Life and Floyd Motes saying no, there's no live stream capability this time, and you know that could be addressed with a firmware update. Now, I recently did one. You know, I had some issues getting a smart controller to work with a firmware update, and found out it's their browser. It's that Lightning browser that DJI uses on it, and they're addressing that issue right now. So, you know, to kind of wrap things up here, you know, I just wanted to go around one more time to everybody, just get some final thoughts. And then also tonight, too, I want to put a plug in Drone Therapy at 8:30 p.m. We're going to talk a little bit about the Action Cam, but we're probably going to talk about the Spark 2 tonight. So make sure you tune into that. There is a link here in the description up the top. So definitely you want to check that out. We're going to have a great panel on tonight. It's going to be a great show, and we're going to have a great time. So we'll start with Bill, go to Ron, go to Marcus, and then I'll close here. So go ahead, Bill.
All right. Thank you very much. Something I have been noticing, I'm thinking you're going to see the Osmo Action in stores by the end of the month. So probably, I'm thinking it's probably going to ship within a day or two to people who order direct from DJI. You'll probably have it by the weekend, first part of next week. if we're lucky. Now, I didn't order one, probably won't order one. But yes, I'm dancing because I think we're finally going to get that new little bird. And that's another reason that I'm not jumping and pulling the trigger on this, because I've got 2 or 3 action cams. I've got the Pocket. I'm expecting the Pocket to update a lot more. And I really, if I get another drone, I don't want another big drone. I want something small, because I felt awkward taking the Air to Hawaii. But if I get another Spark, I probably would like to take it to Hawaii. And with that, I'll pass it to Ron.
Thank you, Bill. Yes, I'll say real fast, you know, I'm not upgrading because I never look at the Hero 7 and say, you know, I wish it had better stabilization. I never look at it and say, I wish it had better color. You know, I never look at it and think I need anything better than I have on it now. So, you know, sometimes when you have a product that fits all your needs, you really don't need something that's slightly better. But on that note, maybe when Bill, the drone reviewer, gets his action in, maybe I can take that $11 flight down to Tampa and we can go out someplace and do a heads up, side-by-side video comparison shootout. Would you be up to that challenge, Bill?
Absolutely, Ron.
Marcus, can you get an $11 flight from Boise?
Well, I doubt I could get an $11 flight from Boise, but I know I can usually get about $350 round trip to Orlando. So kind of close, I guess.
Yeah, we can meet in the middle. We can meet in Columbus, Ohio, Bill's old stomping grounds.
There you go.
So I'm going to throw it. I'm throwing it to Marcus for his final thoughts for this show.
Yeah, so I'm going to just really pile on to what both Bill Thomas and Ron Brown just said. That's exactly right. If I didn't already have the Hero 7, I would have bought one of those instantly. And you never know, I may yet. But that said, like what Bill Thomas said, I am so glad that I bought the DJI Spark I bought recently. And on my recent trip to Arizona, I found out how valuable that little portable drone is. And if DJI upgrades that product, it is just a no-brainer to buy the new one. So yeah, that would really get put some of my money in DJI's pocket for sure.
My panel, thank you so much. I'll give you my final thoughts here. Again, for me, I come from the perspective of having 0 action cams. I didn't pull the trigger on the Osmo Pocket. I may do that someday. I'm really still very interested in that. But for this is going to be an ideal vlogging camera because, as a lot of you know, my daughter's expecting right at the end of June. Talked to her recently. She's progressing very nicely. Everything's looking well. And we're going to vlog our trip up there. And that's what I'm going to use the action cam to do that. And I think it's an ideal kind of a scenario. I mean, from the time we leave the house to go to the airport, in the plane, the whole way there, we're going to do a vlog of this because this is going to be a great experience for us. You know, having, you know, Bill already knows the thrill of having grandchildren, and Valerie and I are going to get to experience this as well. So, but, you know, with all that said, you know, I think it's something that's, if you don't have an action cam already, I think this is something that you should strongly consider. The other thing is, I also checked and also want to know, Steve Carpenter put in the comments, it will be available at his Best Buy at May 31st. So it won't, like Bill said, it'll be right at the end of the month that it'll be available as far as being able to purchase this in stores. You know, one of the other things is, you know, I want to make sure, guys, I have links for everybody's channel in the description. Make sure you check them out. Check out Bill's, you know, drone therapy tonight at 8:30 Eastern. Make sure you tune into that. There's a link in the description. Check out Bill's channel, Coast to Coast Drones, Ron's channel, Ron Brown, and ZinoNation. There's links in there for that. And Marcus's channel, Idaho QuadCopters. I want to thank my esteemed panel for taking time out of their day today at this wonderful lunchtime to be able to do this. This was absolutely fantastic. Again, you know, it's always exciting whenever DJI announces a product, and we had that opportunity to experience that today. And hopefully, coming up in July, we're going to talk more about this tonight on drone therapy. So I'm going to bid you all a further adieu, and remember, it's still a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.